Hi, in this exercise we're going to be looking at positions or points and how these points relate to one another and to the space depicted. Of course, the space and the large masses or forms contained by the space are extremely important, but so too is the way we place the smaller details that the eye perceives as being so crucial. Before we start, let's just have a quick look at this beautiful angle line drawing. It's important to say here that, as with many of the examples I'll be using, they're not simply or exclusively an illustration of a singular point. This is a very complex drawing, but it's also useful for us to look at because it is so loaded with superbly positioned details. These details have been placed in relationship to one another to create a very still and calm composition. Although it's good to see a finished drawing by a great artist like Ingres, it may be useful to break this down a bit more so that we can see what's going on. So here I've arranged three figures in a similar formation, but I've introduced some red dots that mark the positions of certain crucial points. I want you to see how these points have a flat relationship to one another, but also a three-dimensional one. Okay, so let's take away the figures and just leave the red dots. And now we can see that flatly these dots have a specific position, but also they have a position relative to each other spatially. Now this is very important because when we come back to look at the Ingres drawing, we can see the same thing going on. These obviously are perceived in 2 dimensions, but they still have a 3-dimensional relationship. So let's just go back to the Ingres, and here let's add the red dots. Here we go. And now let's take away the drawing. Okay, so there we're left with the red dots.